boss battles are often the most exciting part of playing video games. From Software is one of the few developers that excels at keeping the player's eyes riveted to the screen during these challenging, imposing, and remarkably designed confrontations. To keep this list from getting too obscure, I've narrowed it down to the games that are commonly referred to as the Souls series. This includes Demon Souls, all the Dark Souls titles, and Bloodborne.
Number 5.
Flame Lurker, Demon Souls. While simple in its design, anyone who has played Demon Souls will clearly remember their first confrontation with the Flame Lurker. An arduous descent through the many twisted channels of Stonefang Tunnel will funnel you to the fog door leading to this encounter. Starting above in the mines, after defeating Armor Spider, and working your way down into this heated basement is cleverly foreshadowing what is ahead. In contrast to the slower, oversized bosses that the player has likely fought so far in Demon Souls, the Flame Lurker is a fast, tightly packed ball of flame. Being near him burns your health away. He charges mid-range targets with an explosive impact, often leaving flaming footprints on the ground. While weak to both magic and poison attacks, not many first-time players made their character with those abilities. This made for a challenging, exciting, and memorable battle in the first game donning the Souls title.
Number 4.
Dragon Slayer Ornstein and Executioner Smaug, Dark Souls. An unavoidable addition to this list, Ornstein and Smaug are likely two of the most recognizable and famous bosses From Software has yet to create. This encounter takes place right after making your way through Ornstein, a city famous for making grown adults cry due to its grueling difficulty, cleverly placed enemies, and unfortunately absent railings. The duo must be taken on simultaneously, and the moment one of them falls, the other absorbs their power and the battle begins anew. Ornstein is a knight captain and carries his Dragon Slayer spear, which is imbued with lightning. Smaug is the overweight executioner of Ornstein, who wields an enormous hammer. If Smaug is defeated first, Ornstein prays to absorb his friend, doubling in size and retaining all of his speed. Conversely, Ornstein falling first causes Smaug to smash Ornstein with his hammer. He absorbs the power of lightning into his weapon and becomes an electric nightmare. Either way, this iconic fight is long and arduous. Overcoming it and leaving Ornstein gives a feeling of accomplishment few games can offer players.
Number 3.
Dark Lurker, Dark Souls 2. This boss was tucked away as the final challenge in the Pilgrims of Dark questline. The player had to complete 3 fairly challenging dungeons that involved sacrificing a human effigy for every attempt. Your quest was to go thrice into the abyss and light a large chalice with your torch to gain entry to the final area. Dark Lurker is a 4-armed, hooded angelic being that employs many different magic attacks. This exhilarating battle begins with Dark Lurker flying around the arena casting soul spears, dark explosions, and fire orbs. The interesting part of this fight comes halfway when she splits herself into 2 separate entities, both equally strong and able to use all abilities. Artistically interesting in character design, ability usage, and environment, Dark Lurker is one of the cooler encounters, albeit not one of the most challenging.
Number 2.
Father Gascoigne, Bloodborne. Father Gascoigne is an unforgettable encounter that perfectly sets the tone of Bloodborne. After making your way through central Yharnam, you find Gascoigne devouring a fresh corpse in a moonlit cemetery. This hunter has been taken by the madness of the hunt and immediately attacks. Sporting a hunter axe and blunderbuss, Gascoigne fights just like the player does. Until, of course, he transforms into a terrifying beast. The battle rages on, tombstones are destroyed, and you emerge victorious. The setting becomes even more meaningful when the player discovers Gascoigne's wife died in the cemetery by his hands just moments before. If the player visited his home prior to arriving at their encounter, they would have been gifted with a music box that stuns Gascoigne in his beast form, the memories of what he has done to his family paralyzing him. The themes of madness, blood, and the retention of humanity flow throughout Bloodborne's adventure like a fine wine, and this encounter encapsulates all of them.
Number 1.
Sister Fried and Father Ariandel, Dark Souls 3. The final encounter in the Ashes of Arendelle DLC is an incredible treat. Sister Fried interrupts your interactions with a restrained Father Ariandel, asking him to avert his eyes while she dispatches you. Casting large swaths of ice across the floor and able to disappear and attack from the shadows, Fried wields an enormous scythe and commands the power of frost. Not before long, Ariandel is enraged upon her defeat. He breaks free of his bondage, destroying and widening the room by setting nearly everything ablaze. Ariandel swings an enormous bowl filled with fire. Smashing it into the ground, he spills dangerous liquid flame throughout the room. This fire brings Sister Fried back for another round of combat, and both must be fought together. A tornado of fire and ice fills the room as both adversaries attempt to end your assault against them. Their health shared, they fall together. It is at this point where most celebrate and congratulate themselves on a well-fought victory. I remember this moment well. Ariandel's voice then echoes throughout the hall. A swirl of darkened flame swirls around the body of Fried, causing her to stand again. The final phase of this encounter is against Black Flame Fried. She now carries 2 scythes, moves with incredible speed, and has the power of darkness and frost. All of these attacks are as beautiful as they are deadly, and there is little time to counterattack before she begins another flurry of swings. This final phase is the most challenging and nerve-wracking of this grueling battle.
Hey, did you like that video? If you did, be sure to let us know by clicking the like button and leaving a comment. If you want to be first in line for any new content, be sure to subscribe to our channel and then hit up our Facebook page. The link's in the description below to see what's coming up next.